Yo people, what is going down? It's DJ Ash Noble here, and the time has come. The time has indeed finally come. We are heading towards the final weeks of 2023, and I always like to do this at the end of the year. I always like to have a little bit of a sort of think back about how the year has gone and kind of just look back and talk about some of the things that we've done over the course of this year and just sort of really speak on how 2023 as a whole has gone. So as you know, my schedule is always busy. I'm always either working, gigging, doing something with the layman or doing something or other. And today I just actually had a little bit of time where I'm just now sat at home, and I just thought, you know what, let's just do the stream now. It doesn't have to be right near the end of the year to the point where we do this thing in like December. But I kind of know what's coming to like finish off the year. So unless any like other like surprise is coming, or I get booked for something sort of like last minute, I think it's pretty much safe to say for me that this year is kind of like finished for me now. Like, I know what's coming, and what's coming is what's coming, and that will be it. And then we will be on to a whole brand new year, 2024, where there's loads of things that I'm going to be looking forward to. So this time last year, I was excited for what was to come in 2023, and one of them was playing the Sopranos in Amsterdam, which sadly never ended up happening. It was just turned out to be too much more of a costly thing than what I felt like I was going to personally get out of it. And also the home stuff as well wasn't always the best, and that hasn't been the best for a few years, so we'll kind of not include that into the good sort of into the sort of like good or the bad year. We'll sort of keep this more sort of like music related, but sadly that didn't happen, but we'll reflect sort of as we go on. So let's throw it right back to January, and what do I really remember in regards to January. So I remember a couple of distinctive things about January, which was like a really cool thing for me. So first of all, I played an event in Leeds. It became the first booking of the year, and it was where I had two bookings in one day. So that was kind of like a real it's sort of like electronic start to the year. It was like, wow, kicking off sort of doing two bookings in one day. So we was in Leeds and Scunthorpe in the same day. So we was at Orgasmic's birthday, and there was a lineup like cram-packed of like loads of different DJs, and it was spread across like 3 different rooms in this like little studio kind of place. You could kind of hire it for a venue, and then there was like loads of like little studio rooms and stuff, and they put like decks in, and they crammed it full of DJs, and they crammed it with with lineups. And I played a hardcore set after Aurora D, and I remember it because I actually played one of the best hardcore sets that I still think to this day, one of the best hardcore sets that I had ever played. I don't know, there was just something about it, and I remember on that day as well buying a new pair of headphones for the gig. And I think it's the headphones that I've still got with me now. It's some Sennheisers, and I remember I'd stayed over at my nan's the day before, and I was just like proper, I don't know, I came back and I was like proper pumped for it, and I was like, oh wow, yeah. And I'd literally just been paid from work, like I think the day before the gig or something like that. I think the day of the gig was actually my payday, but because it was a weekend, I got the pay on the Friday. And yeah, I remember just like being really excited. And I bought these headphones, and I just remember the hardcore set being like absolutely banging, and like every tune was just an absolute slammer. And I just did things, just went a little bit daring in the set and sort of took the set to levels that I hadn't took before, and like people were saying, it was like a banging set. But I also remember that I didn't pack any deodorant with me, and it got like proper hellishly sweaty, and I proper jumped around like crazy, and I hadn't sprayed, and people could like smell me, and a couple of people said like, "Oh, you're out," which was a little bit of a like downer. And then we went over to Oscars in Scunthorpe, which is like a pub stroke nightclub, and they essentially booked me to do like an all nighter thing, and it was just called DJ Ash Noble, and they just wanted me to play like loads of like bounce tunes and dance tunes, and just essentially it was like really quiet, like no one really turned up. It was just stupid, really. There was just no real sort of motive behind it, and it wasn't promoted properly. We closed early. I still got my pay for doing it, but it wasn't really. I would say it was worth it because I still got paid for doing it, but there was just not really anybody there, and we just ended up eating a takeaway inside the venue, and just essentially kept the um, just to quickly sort of like shut the thing early when it wasn't really doing that well. And we actually decided that we'd drive back to Leeds and go back to the other event because it was a little bit more pumping. And we decided to do it, catch a couple of other people's sets. I ended up having to go on the microphone and stuff, and just had a really enjoyable time, and stuff like that. So that sort of kicked off the year, and then we moved into February, and I had my debut, and I DJ'd in the Doncaster Warehouse for the first time. And if you don't know about the Doncaster Warehouse, then you need to get to know, because it is like apart from one club that sadly shut down, it's like the best nightclub for me in the UK. The vibe in there is just honestly, it's something else. The vibe in that warehouse is something else, and I was there just this weekend gone. At an event, and I hadn't been there for ages, and you go into that place, and like it just felt so good, and I'd actually missed that place, because it's not like going to a nightclub. It's weird, but it's like going home. You go there and it's like going home. So I got to DJ there for the first time and make a debut, and it was a private party for a friend of mine. It was his girlfriend's birthday, and they put like a private party on inside the warehouse, and I played a set, and I did some MCing, and it just had a really enjoyable night in there. It was like really good. It was just really fun, and I turned up a little bit late for the set because we got stuck in traffic. There was like traffic on the M18, but I was only about maybe like 2 or 3 minutes late to the set, and then I just literally came in, got behind the booth, and put my headphones in, and boom, we was away and mixing. But it was a really enjoyable set still, and it was really good. Like, even though it wasn't an official event as such, it was more just like a private party. It was still kind of like legendary to stand in that like DJ booth where like some of the biggest names in the music have like stood. You've had people like Gamma standing there, you've had people like Scott Brown standing there, You know, I think even Carl Cox has stood in there at some point, like back in the early days. You know, and it was just legendary to you know, to stand there and be sort of in that booth where all them legends have played sets over the years, and you know, some of the biggest events have taken place within that place, and it, you know, it was just an amazing feeling that that had obviously been the case. And then, you know, just getting to stand also where them legendary MCs, you know, Nats, sort of Marcus, JD Walker have all, you know, they've stood there for years. And then, like, you know, even people like Wizkid and Storm have, like, stood there. And, you know, just to know that you're standing there yourself and gracing a microphone is, you know, it's an unbelievable feeling, which was really good. And then March, I can't really fully remember what bookings I had in March. I think March was a little bit of a quieter month, if I remember right, because I kind of remember March being very quiet, and then April, sort of April, May, June, July was where it all kind of like kicked off again. So I had this kind of like little break in March where there was nothing really happening. I think I just had like, I think I had stomping or something like that. There was a stomping, the only stomping. There was another stomping just recently, but apart from that, the only stomping that had taken place this year until recently. And yeah, I played downstairs, and it was absolutely dead. And they even shut the event early because it was that quiet. And yeah, I think apart from that, my March was pretty dead. April was supposed to be Sopranos in Amsterdam, and sadly that just didn't happen for me. It was just too costly. It turned out like I was going to be paying like hundreds of pounds to go abroad to play for only half an hour. And then there was just like loads of people that did actually still end up going over there. They went over there, and there was just like a real like lack of organisation, and people didn't know where they was going, and people couldn't get into certain venues, and people ended up having to pay more money than they originally was going to pay, because obviously, you know, there was just obviously, you know, stuff going on. So I was kind of glad that I didn't go, but I did make a return to one of my favourite brands, Bounce to Your Drop, and they had an amazing night where the Friday Night Posse was headlining, and they had some other great talent on the lineup, and I played the closing set, and I played a really sort of just enjoyable, energetic set, and I just absolutely loved it. And they absolutely loved it as well. They loved my energy, and there was a couple of good videos from that set as well that showed me behind the decks, which was really good. So coming into May, so what happened in May? That is the question, because I'm trying to think to myself now what actually happened in May. So I know of some bookings that I had in June. There was one where I warmed up for Mike Riveri, so that was in June, and I warmed up for Mike Riveri at the Fusion in Cleethorpes, and I also attended my debut at Bonanza, and I ended up hosting on the mic for the legend UFO. But May just seems to be a little bit blank, and I just can't fully remember what happened in May. I'm just trying to think back. I think May, I had an event in Retribution, which was in Wakefield. That was a really decent event, actually. There was like some guy playing house music before, and everyone kind of stuck around, and then we kind of like went in and kind of put like the bounce on, and a few people filtered out, but there was quite a few people that stayed, and I played to quite a hefty crowd. And when I say hefty, it was like more than I sort of like thought that I would be playing for, because I thought, like, when I first came in, I thought, oh god, you know, half of these people aren't gonna like us sort of going from this kind of like deep funky house into this like 150 bounce. And then obviously a few people stuck around, so that was really good. And then we went over I got picked up from the Lehman and we went over to the Has event in Milton Keynes, which was, absolutely banging. But sadly, missed the Dougal and Gamma set, which was a letdown. But I was obviously gigging. So so June I made a debut to Bonanza and hosted the mic for UFO, which was a big surprise. Also hosted for Evo as well, and he played a banging set full of his own productions. The end of June, I went over to Cleethorpes, warmed up on the decks for the man like Mike Riveri, and played a really good set, but the event just wasn't, again, it just wasn't really busy, sadly. July, I played one of my most favourite events, that is my favourite gig of the year. I also played the Bounce to Infinity. I warmed up for Andy Whitby. Well, I say warm up, I was on the same lineup as Andy Whitby. I was in the second room, but it was like the same event that he was playing at. And and then I had the Stormfest, which was my most favourite event of the year, and then there was supposed to be one that was supposed to be at the Piper nightclub in Hull, which sadly never happened. The event got cancelled, and now I literally live like about 2 minutes away from the nightclub, which is absolutely crazy. I could literally go and DJ like 2 minutes from my house. That's like how crazy it is. So that's absolutely crazy. And then August, I kept August free, really, because I had a family holiday, sadly. And the beginning of August, though, I went over to Leicester, and it was the Core Vibes summer session, or Summer Sounds, I think it was. And then the following week, I played at the Old Schoolhouse in Hull for Summer Sensations Courtyard Party. And then I had my holiday. September, I played for Humber Vibe in Hull. Hardcore event, went B2B with DJ Prime, which it was an absolutely booting event. And then in October, I'm just trying to think if I had a gig in October. Where I think October was I think it was a clean. I don't think I really had anything going on in October, DJ wise, that I can remember. I think October was quite a sort of like free. It was a free month. I don't think I really had anything going on. And then November, I obviously went over to Leicester, played the 300 and 60 degree hardcore party, which was really good. And we also did. Oh no, that was last year. Sorry. So so I think that's been it for November as far as the gigs go. Also in September, we went over to the Bonanza and the Revolution, where I won the competition, and I won the first round of the competition, which was a draw with the Brothers and Bars. And then at the Bonanza, the actual event, we did like a back to sort of like a battle on stage kind of thing. And then I ended up going on to win the full competition, which was really good. And there was like DJ Kurt and stuff on that lineup, which was it was a really good lineup actually, to tell the truth. And the vibe was absolutely lit. The vibe was like really lit, so that was really good. But yeah, as far as October goes, I went to like a couple of events, but I don't think I gigged anywhere that I am aware of. I could be completely wrong, but that I'm aware of, I don't really remember. So and we're in November now. And next month we've got Bonanza for the Core Vibes birthday. We're going down to Birmingham next week. And then the following week I am at Hull Red, and I'm making a debut there to do a live performance on stage with the Jiggerman, with our positive reggae tracks. And then Sort of on the 23rd, I'm at Ultimate Bounce in Grimsby, and I'm emceeing and hosting. And there's people like Alan Ben and all of that, and Club Filler. They're all on the lineup, so it's gonna be a special one, definitely, to end the year. So that's kind of like all the events that I can think of that we've done this year, and then obviously among all the events, like some other great things have happened. My production, um, all of that kind of stuff. So how do I feel that this year has gone? Like for me personally, on like a music scale. So I think personally, musically wise, it's gone really well. It's gone like so good in lots of different ways. So definitely towards the beginning of the year, sort of towards the sort of like midsummer, the music wise, like upon the gig side of things, was like really kind of proper doing well for itself, and I was playing quite frequently. There was I remember like there was one time when I was saying to my grandparents that after this weekend I won't be coming for like a good 3 or 4 weeks because there's bookings and things happening, and then sort of towards the sort of after, I'd say sort of after when we got into August, that was kind of when the bookings sort of died down, and I think maybe just I wasn't pushing myself as much to like try and sort of like fill all them dates up with bookings. So I think I most definitely slowed down towards the later side of the year. But I think with the stuff going on at home, and then obviously like moving into this new property and all of that stuff could have probably like had sort of some kind of effect on it, because if you've got something going on, like you can try and cover it up for so long, but the cracks are going to show in the end. And I'm kind of like, I focus on the music stuff a lot because it's like it's the one thing that makes me happy. I'm not a very like mental health, I'm not a depressive kind of person, so I don't really go downhill as such. But I have days where obviously I'll just think like, oh, I've had enough of today. Something just kind of it makes me feel a little bit down and upset. But like I've always kind of been like sort of like very positive, and I think sometimes like that is a really good thing. That is it's a good thing to stay positive, but like sometimes you can kind of use that positivity to brush over sort of what isn't going too well, and sometimes it doesn't always work, because like like what you've got that is positive can start having effects, because the other things are starting to affect the good things in sort of like what you're doing. So like I was having all these bookings and it was like doing really well, and then kind of all of this stuff about moving properties and stuff. And before I even moved into this place, there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Before I even got this place, there was chance of being homeless, and stuff like that can have effect. And you can't necessarily just sweep that under the carpet and go, yeah, I'm playing in Grimsby this weekend, because it doesn't work. You can go and play in Grimsby, and you can smash the best set of your life, but the truth is you are still going to be homeless. You're still leaving your home, you're still having to move into another address. So although you're like staying positive and you're feeling good for them few hours while you're doing something you enjoy, it doesn't solve what is obviously going wrong. So I think that just essentially was probably why the gig sort of like sort of dropped a bit. And another reason why they dropped as well. I mean, I don't like to speak bad of music, but you know, um, twos.
Hi, I'm
Yo.
so sorry. I really don't want to be rude, but would you please keep it down a tiny
Oh
little
yeah,
bit?
yeah,
Is that
sure.
alright? I'm so sorry. Is that alright? Thank you.
Boom. right, yes. So I think that was just obviously what was, I think that's obviously what was going on. So, um, but yeah, no, what I was gonna say is like a lot of people like I don't really know how to explain it. It's like a really tough one to explain. But I guess the only way to describe it is like I want people to want me like as a DJ, like as an artist, like whatever I'm doing, kind of thing. So like I'm not the kind of person who like goes up to like promoters and says like, oh, give me a set. I really want to play at your event. you know so like even if I do like really want to play at their event, like I kind of feel like I want them to ask me, like I want them to come into my inbox and say, would you like to play our next event? And a prime example of that is there's an event that I'm going to be playing for in January, which is something I'm really looking forward to. It's a really you know going to be an enjoyable event. But I've been to like the past couple of events that they've done, and I've only gone out of like the layman's been going, sort of gone to sort of like shed me support, all of that kind of stuff, and I've never once gone there and said like, oh, I'd love to play at your event. And then I got a phone call about what would it be now? Just over a week ago, and just essentially, did I want to play at their first event next year? And that is the kind of thing. That is the kind of thing that I am all about. That's the thing I like. That's the thing that kind of excites me. The fact that I haven't gone sort of like begging or getting down on one knee or going into their inboxes, I'd love to play at your event. I've just gone and supported a couple of events, and then I've spoke to the promoters obviously, and I'm quite good friends with the promoters of the event, and they're absolutely sound people. Do not get me wrong, but um, just essentially, um, what I was gonna say is like off the back they've asked me, do I want to play? Not me sort of going like, oh, have you got any sets going at your event? Because it's not me. I want people to want me for who I am, not to think, oh, we'll put this guy on because he's been hounding us and he's been hagging us, and we'll put him on. He's just been begging for a set. We'll give him that set. I want people to think, I like that Ash Noble. He is a DJ as well. He's positive. He always supports our events. Let's ask him. Let's see if he wants a set, kind of thing. And that is kind of like the vibe of it. And that is kind of what I'm all about. And probably sometimes, yes, it's probably why there's I don't get like all the bookings in the world, because I don't go sort of like trying to like beg myself to the promoters. I'm just I'm online. You can see what I do. I come and support your brands. If you want me to DJ, I'll DJ. Ask me and I'll do it. Not me coming, oh please can I play your set, because it's not me. And I don't, and yeah, and it's not and I'm not like a friends of friends kind of person either, like or like my mate knows the promoter and he's going to get me a set. It's not my kind of thing. If my friend, like if a friend like recommends me and says like that anyone know any good DJs, and they go, oh, that Ash Noble's quite a good DJ, then that's like that's like fair enough. you know but yeah, I think that's sort of some of the reason why I've also lacked in bookings, just because I aren't, maybe in sense I'm not like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not like sort of racing to go out there and get them as such, like even though I am, if you get me. But like I do it to an extent that doesn't make me look desperate, because the truth is I'm not desperate. I do it for enjoyment, and I do it because I want people to book me to do what I love because they know because they know it's what I love, and not just because I've like hounded them or hassled them or like begged them for the set, or like, oh, I'll put you on at my event if you put me on at your event kind of thing. Or you put me on at your event so you can come in for free at my event. You've got guest list and VIP, and I'll come and do this and do that, and it's just personally, it's not me. It's not what I'm about. It's not who I am. I want people to want me because they want me for who I am. You know, and that is probably like the difference in it. But you know, that is just probably why, along with obviously other things, going on. So I guess another not so good thing about this year, probably one of the only other not so good things about this year, which has been completely my fault. It's just the lack of keeping up with my DJ Ash Noble Facebook page. I find it really sort of like hard just to like promote that page, like really proper hard. So like towards the beginning of the year, I gave it like a proper like boost, and I was proper, like I was posting on there every week, and we was doing weekly live streams, and I was doing everything, and then I like stuff was going on at home, and I thought, we thought like a long time ago that we'd be moving properties, and then I had to kind of stop the live streams, and then my work got busier, and I was just finding it so hard, like to juggle that page and having that page to kind of promote. And when I was posting music related things on my normal Facebook account, like just my normal, not a page, it was getting more views, it was getting more attention. I was building more of a like a fan base up kind of on there rather than on the Facebook page. So like, for example, like I'd get booked for a gig and the flyer had come out, and essentially I'd put the flyer on my normal Facebook and it'd get like, I don't know, maybe 25 likes, and then I'd put the flyer up on my Facebook page and it might just get something like 3 likes and no comments, and no one would really share it. And then like I'd come live and on my normal Facebook, and I'd get more people locking in, and then I'd go live on the Facebook page and I'd maybe get like 2 or 3 people locking in. And I just got to the point where I just enjoyed posting on my normal profile more, but kind of like lacking upon the page. And I kind of, in a way, I kind of regret it, but at the same time, I kind of don't feel like I don't feel trying to think what the word is, but I don't feel like motivated to want to go and start posting on that page again, because I think the thing about it is when I changed it from MC Noble to DJ Ash Noble, I think that is kind of when, and it was the same with the Instagram. I mean, I still post on Instagram because that is like my only one Instagram account. It's not like I've got an Ash Noble Instagram account and then a DJ Instagram account. It was just the one. But I kind of felt like when I changed them from the MC Noble to the DJ, when I sort of focused on the DJing a little bit more, it was kind of like, how do I say it? It was just kind of like, you know, just like people lost interest. People preferred it when I was MCing more than when I was DJing. People found that more entertaining. People found that more interesting. People just wanted me to spit bars. They didn't care about me coming live and having a hardcore mix. It wasn't about that. And yeah, it just wasn't. It just wasn't that good in that sense. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a letdown. But apart from that, musically wise, we've had an absolutely smashing year. So highlights for me was getting to be on the same flyer as Andy Whitby. That was obviously, well, I got on it twice this year, which was a massive goal for me. A lot of you may or may not know, but Andy Whitby has been like one of my favourite DJs for a lot of years. I used to really love him back in the Hard House days, like sort of 2010, sort of to around 2014ish, when he kind of sort of switched over and sort of moved away from Hard House and went more into sort of like bounce. But he did some really good Hard House and Hard Dance back in the day. I got right into him. So to be on the same flyer as him, it was obviously a buzz. And then what I was also going to say is the Stormfest event. It was the highlight of my year. It was the biggest gig. Well, not biggest gig as such, but it was the most enjoyable. I played on a little outdoor stage in the yards in Kettering, and I just had like a really like it was just a set that went down really well, and the crowd like really loved it, and the crowd reaction was just absolutely fantastic, and it was just like something that I couldn't be any happier with. Everything just went really well. The mixing was good, the set was good, the decks were really nice to mix on, and it just was a really good vibe. It was really enjoyable. I've enjoyed a lot of the journeys as well. Sort of when we went to Stoke for the Bounce to Infinity, and then we went to Leicester to the like core vibes and stuff, and when we went over to like Manchester for Bonanza and stuff. I really enjoyed the travelling and like seeing like different food places, and seeing just sort of where we was going, and just kind of like having a little bit of a different sort of vibe, and making like some adventures out of it as well. So we made a few like adventures, and I did like little Instagram vlogs, and put like loads of real like stories up, like updating like sort of like the whole journey from like traveling on the train and leaving Hull, to arriving at the locations, to going to like food places, to getting into the hotel, and all of that kind of stuff. And it was like a really good vibe, so I really enjoyed that. uh, Also, one of the main things of the year, of course, was like getting signed to labels and having like tracks going out on like Bounce Core Records and Excite. Excite being like an absolute buzz for me, having tracks going out, being sort of like listened to, and kind of having tracks that were good enough to go out. Where they'd actually say, yeah, we'll take this one. That was an absolute buzz. Something I'll never forget, when I sent over Played Alive, and it was just that, yeah, I'll listen to that later, and just essentially, um, just sat there, and then got that inbox through, and it said release date, and then there was a picture of the artwork, and it was like, oh wow, this has actually happened. Um, so that was really good. That was a proper buzz. Other highlights of the year for me, a big one as well has been work. I've really enjoyed a full year of doing youth work. That was absolutely amazing. Opening up the music studio, the music lab sessions, they've been a massive highlight. Going and linking up with the gig buddies, doing the exhibition stuff. Linking up with the gig buddies has got to top the bill for me when it comes to the youth work. It's like I've really enjoyed them, especially along with the studio. That's been a real buzz, and music lab as well, like I said before. So kind of like all three of them, they've been like my work highlights of the year. They've been really good. So yeah, that was another good thing. So I suppose what do we change going forward, and how we're gonna try and somewhat make 2024 an even better year than 2023, because we always try to kind of like, I don't want to say level up, but we always try to kind of try and sort of improve on what we've done like the previous year, and try and sort of have a little bit of a better year. So 2022, it wasn't, it was a good year, but we didn't have like loads of bookings coming in, and then kind of like 2023, we sort of dominated that. And we got even more bookings, and it just everything just kind of spiraled. 2021 was like a really good year, and then 2022 was kind of better, but then 2023 just got even better. So how do we make like 2024 just like even better? So I think like we gotta keep gigging. That's obviously a big thing, and I'm gonna get back onto like pushing myself a little bit more to try and get more gigs. So I'm gonna try and like one thing I've done this year, which has been really good, is I've kept my SoundCloud pretty sort of updated, and getting this new RX has been like a godsend, because for recording mixes and stuff, it's been like really good. So I definitely want to keep that. Launching the Grooving Sounds project, that is obviously going to be a big thing. I want that kind of to be a big part of 2024, to kind of create that platform where we can just kind of have that running in the background, and have like tunes coming out. I'd love to start up maybe like the Grooving Sounds radio. That is like a big thing. I'm quite looking forward to that. I kind of want to get on doing like a proper regular show, and I've got I don't want to just go on air and do like a mix. I've got something like quite different sort of planned for the show. I want to kind of do it more like when you'd listen to somebody on like a commercial sort of FM kind of station. So we'll see what happens um, with that. And then just of course, I think my biggest aim is to keep the youth job. That is, for me, the youth job, as I've said like many a times in different like streams before, it's like a funded job. So like every so many months, like the funding, it comes to an end, and then um, there's always that kind of, they might not be able to get any more funding to keep your job. And you've got to kind of show them that the work you're doing, like, oh yeah, we want to keep funding this. Whereas if they think it's not worth them funding it, they won't fund it, kind of thing. So keeping the youth job, that is a big thing. It's a mega thing. So we'll see if we can do that, obviously, and just keep going, I guess. Laytunes, we're nearly at episode 50. But Laytunes, 49 has just gone up, so 50 will be going up. I'm not too sure what the plan is with that going forward after 50. We did have a little bit of a speak about it, but I don't think we're like totally final yet on what's going to happen with the episodes of Laytunes. If you've not seen them, go on to the Layman on Facebook and watch them. It's essentially us, myself and the Layman, were in like a cartoon filter, and we just like record these little funny sketches and these little funny arguments, and just kind of Noble being Noble, and Layman being Layman, but it's kind of caught on camera. And I like ask him like daft things, and he's like, oh, like this is just daft, like sort your act out, and just essentially made something quite fun out of it. And Hull Enders is kind of like it's like a soap parody that we've been filming in and around Hull, and we're kind of like coming close to the end of the first season. We've got like a couple of episodes left to film, and hopefully we'll be bringing back a season 2, but it's very time consuming, so I'm not sure. So that is obviously some more things. Lay dubs, we was just sort of like dubbing funny videos, voiceovers. They kind of died down a little bit. We haven't done one for a while. So yeah, we'll sort of see how that goes, and just sort of take it from there, really. Apart from sort of keeping myself going, that is kind of the main goal for me is just to keep going. I haven't really, but I don't really know sort of in sense like really where I see myself. I'm kind of at this point now where I'm kind of happy with the things that I'm doing, and like I'm kind of happy, and at the moment I just kind of want to keep doing them. So like there's no specific like gigs as such, like where I think, oh, I definitely really want to play there. I just kind of feel privileged that any booking that kind of comes through. Whether it's to play for a small event, whether it's to play for a large event. I just kind of feel quite sort of privileged and like sort of thankful that these offers come. People ask me to play at these events. I would definitely like to play at the warehouse again. That would be some, the Doncaster warehouse. That is something that would be kind of like a little bit of a goal to definitely play there again, and to like play at an event. And a lot of people sort of like they've seen me rave there, and we've got like a good friendship. But it'll be kind of good for them like to witness me playing a set, and just kind of like see sort of like how it goes, if that makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Production wise, you know, keep getting signed. Keep putting tracks out there, keep improving, and just keep going. Just keep moving along and getting better with the production. Maybe delving into making some original tracks and not just remixing all the time. And getting some proper like really decent projects down, and just seeing how it goes. So yeah, so 2023, all in all, it's been a really good year for music. It's been absolutely amazing. It has been probably one of the best in my musical journey, just for getting signed to labels and all of that kind of stuff, and warming up for some of my favourite DJs, within the music scene. It's been a real buzz. One thing that I do want to say that has really stood out to me this year is the amount of friends that I've made, like going to these events as well. And especially, the Doncaster Warehouse has been a massive place for this, and some of the other events as well. But I've met so many new people. I've made so many, that are hopefully going to be like lifelong friends. We may only see each other when we're at the events, but they've in a lot of sense. Like the crazy thing about it is like I've known them sort of maybe a matter of a couple of months, and they've been more of a friend to me than people that I've known like 20 odd years. And that is like the crazy thing about going to a rave, that people at raves, you can meet more friendly people than like someone you grew up with at school. A lot of people I grew up with at school, like a good chunk of them, I can't even remember the last time they text me. I can't even remember the last time that I text them. Just kind of there's like one person, and like I text him like from time to time, and he was like a real close friend. He was like a best friend at one point, when we were kids, and we've always sort of like stayed friends. But even we've sort of we drifted apart, and we don't text each other all the time. Whereas like some of these people I've met at like raves, I maybe text them a couple of times a week for various different things, and sharing music about, and oh, you're going to be at this event, and oh, wicked, I'll see you there. So it's a really crazy feeling in that sense. And you know what can I say? So yeah, I think that we've had a good year. We can't grumble. We definitely can't grumble at the year we've had. And let's hope 2024 is even better, and we do even more fun amazing, challenging things, and you know we do more projects, and everything just fits like a glove. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share all of that good stuff, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Boom.